On October 23, 2013, California State Assembly member from District 22, Kevin Mullin, and San Mateo County Supervisor Warren Slocum hosted the first annual Connect13 conference at YouTube headquarters in San Bruno, California. Strengthening communities through social media was the theme, bringing together social media experts and San Mateo County attendees from business, public, and government sectors to discuss the opportunities and challenges of using social media to communicate, collaborate, legislate, and participate. Peninsula Television is proud to bring you this conference, and all of the segments are available on YouTube and at www.pentv.tv/Connect13.
All right, well, Kevin and I are now going to do our best to get you out of here ahead of schedule. You've all been very patient, very kind for sticking with us. We've had, let's see, with the hashtag ConnectSMC, we've had 30 tweets out here today. Thank you all for doing that. And it's really been a privilege for Kevin and I and our staffs to work on this project and to share the day with you on this really important topic. A couple of takeaways that I made notes about, and I'm just going to do this very quickly in bullet-style fashion. I know that Kevin has like 7 pages of notes there.
Very quick.
But let me just share with you a couple of takeaways from my bulleted list here. First of all, that those of us in government shouldn't be afraid to take a chance. That mistakes are going to be made, and that is okay. Go into it realizing that that may very well happen. But I think it's important to take the chance and take this step on this journey towards using social media. It was really interesting, I thought, the part about when Jack's comments about combining the technology and the people, and that cities had a responsibility to create citizens. I thought, that's a really unique idea and warrants some further thought, at least on my part. It's important to think about also that in some of our organizations that a lot of this would take a cultural change. That is, we're risk adverse. We have a fear of being written up in the newspaper, that things aren't going to work right all the time. And I think it starts from the top and filters down, and it's going to require some real cultural changes. The interesting and final question was just asked by what's next? What's next in your jurisdiction on this journey to trying to use social media to engage citizens? And I know I'm going to go away and think about that. And tomorrow when we have our staff meeting, I'm going to have a list of ideas. So thank you so much for being here and sharing the day. We really appreciate the hospitality of YouTube. And now just turn it over to Kevin for a few comments.
Right. I've been on the receiving end of that stream of consciousness when Warren comes up with those ideas. So I'm warning the staff, look out for that. I'm going to start, and this will be very brief. A promise. I was intrigued by the notion of the fireside hangout for Assembly District 22, a Google Plus hangout. We will accomplish that before our Connect14, and a concept, maybe Capitol Connection, where we do live web streaming from the Capitol so we can give updates to our constituency in Assembly District 22. I'm going to promise that we'll work on that. I don't know if that's a deliverable. We'll have to check with the powers that be at the state capitol. But very briefly, just a couple of comments that struck me, a few themes that sort of resonated with me today. It's not so much the social media technology, but really the use, the notion that old media are not going away. They're just new tools to add to the mix with social media. I was struck by Ron's example of the Asiana crash, where information was streaming out from the actual scene long before the official briefings, long before traditional journalism caught up to that story. It made me think about this radically different environment that we find ourselves as government officials. Jack's comments about the changing nature of government interaction with citizens, that that vending machine example, which was so vivid to me, and the notion of building or rebuilding the connection between governing and the governed, and building that connection together. Charlene Lee's suggestion that leadership is now letting go of some of the control while still maintaining command. How you strike that balance, how you balance opening up your process, opening up the system, becoming transparent as government agencies, but balancing that with the risks associated when a, quote, public forum is created, that whole notion of viewpoint neutrality when a public forum is being initiated, and all things to think about. And just finally, something along the lines of generation and workforce development. And it kind of falls along the lines of both challenges and opportunities. And that's, how do we attract this tech-savvy generation, Generation Y or C, those millennials that everybody's talking about? How do we attract those people into government? How do we make government service, public service, sexy or interesting? How do we attract those folks who might just be naturally inclined to work for a tech company in San Francisco into government? Because we have a real need for talent. As baby boomers retire, we have an aging county. You know, how do we attract some of these folks who have those skills into government? And how do we retrain our current workers, of course, to utilize these technologies? So all things to think about as we blend public service and these new technologies. So with that, I will be quiet and turn it over to Warren for a very special giveaway.
All right. Will you bring the...
Yes, I will.
Will you bring the bowl? All right, now everybody got their business card on this fish bowl I've been talking about all day, right? All right, and now you remember the rule is you have to be present to win. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw one business card out of here, and we're going to give away... what are we giving away? We're giving away one... No, we're not giving away Google Classes. We're giving away one brand new, still in the box, in the wrapper, Apple Mini iPad. And it's white. If you don't like white, too bad. So, and you just put one business card in here, right, Sandy?
Can staff win this? I guess.
Here you go.
Joshua Hugg, Program Manager, Housing Leadership Council.
So how do you like that, Joshua? There you go.
Put that up on Facebook. So Warren and I want to publicly recognize the sponsors of Connect13. First, Google and YouTube for opening their doors to host this event today, and for their staff support and technical expertise. In particular, we'd like to thank Kathleen Adair, I believe it is, with Google Public Affairs for all her legwork, and Brandon Feldman from YouTube, who connected us to Caitlin. Second, SAMCEDA, San Mateo County Economic Development Association. Rosanne Foust, I believe, has come back with us. She and they were instrumental with lots of behind-the-scenes support. And our event sponsors, the County of San Mateo, Wells Fargo, PG&E, Bohannon Development, the Redwood City San Mateo County Chamber of Commerce, and Peninsula TV. Finally, none of this would be possible without the team that executed our vision. A great big thank you to Supervisor Warren Slocum staff, Carol Marks, Marcy Dragon, and Irving Torres, and my district office staff, Mario Rendon, Joe Fazio, Ben Cohn, Carol Ong, and Virginia Kroger. You all are fantastic. Thank you all so very much. Thank you. And that's it.
So, we've come to the end. Thank you once again for being here, and we hope to see you next year at a site to be determined at Connect13. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Hi, with Assemblyman Kevin Mullin, finishing the first annual Connect conference. And let me tell you, you and Supervisor Slocum hit a home run.
Hey, well, thank you. We had some pretty positive response, I think, from the audience when people hang out until 3:15 after a long day. That's a good sign. Maybe it was the iPad giveaway at the end that kept people here. But we had some great energy in the room. I think the key was just the panel presentations, which, you know, sometimes can be dry at conferences, we had some great energy and great information from folks who have both public sector grounding and background, but also understand social media technologies. You know, this has been a sort of long-standing vision of Supervisor Slocum and mine to work on. It started off as kind of digital democracy, how you utilize technology to encourage citizenship, do civic engagement, because, you know, we are at the epicenter of this innovation right here in San Mateo County. We're in my home district of Assembly District 22 here at Google's YouTube in San Bruno. So it's the ideal location to kick off what we hope is going to be an annual social media and governing conference, and discussing how we can connect communities through social media. And it's critical to the mission of governments, local, city, county, school board, and the state, as well as the federal government, how you use these technologies to engage the public.
Well, let me tell you, when I think people get a chance to take a look at this conference, you're going to need a bigger room next year. And from my perspective as an audience member, I found the program extraordinarily interesting, very compelling, inspired me. You know, as a leader of an organization, I took a lot of notes, and I want to commit, as you did on the podium, to start moving those into the execution phase. So,
and let me just say, I, as you know, Mark, have some deep roots with Peninsula TV, and I see Peninsula TV as, you know, the county's community cable channel, moving in that direction of newer technologies and partnering with some of these technology companies. So your programming is not just not only on cable, but also can be streamed and seen on the internet as all of these sort of technologies converge. But it's really critical to that government mission that we all understand what these technologies are, that we sort of break down some of the barriers in the language that's used between the public and private sectors. And I just think San Mateo County is ideally suited, given the collaborative nature of this county, for cities, counties, schools to get together, do broadband, really maybe do countywide Wi-Fi. There's so many opportunities where the public can engage their decision makers utilizing this technology, and we should really be setting the standard for the country. And I think we're on our way.
well, I couldn't agree more, and that's sure our vision to get involved as deeply and as broadly as we can. Thanks for spending time with us. Mega congratulations. This was a very successful event. We'll look forward to 2014.
And thank you for partnering with us. Absolutely.
Pleasure. Take care.